Welcome back, everyone. So, today I want to make a little clarification on the community post and to answer some questions that people have asked in the community post here on YouTube and on social media from the other day when I updated the information about Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell possibly getting bond. Thank you for joining me today. All right, let's dive into it. First, I want to say thank you to everyone who did respond to the community post here on YouTube and on the social media in general. It overwhelmingly was positive. I really do appreciate it, and I heard you loud and clear in your post about what you feel should happen in this case. That neither one of them should be offered bond at all, but that is the legal system that we have to work with here in the United States. And with that said, now I'm going to explain to you how a cash bail system works here in the United States. For this example, we're going to say that you, the individual, whoever you may be, have been charged with a felony and you've been arrested. Now, after arrest booking, you will then, a couple of days later, most likely, see a judge for the first time. At that time, they will read the charges that you are actually been charged with. Let's just say that it was vehicular assault. You ran into your ex-husband in the parking lot, and you did not drive over him and then back up, and then drive over him and then back up. Even though you wanted to, you just bumped him with the bumper of your car. Okay, vehicular assault. This is how the judge will read it to you. First they will assign either say, okay, I can't afford an attorney, or I have an attorney, and your attorney will be there, to act on your behalf with you. They will then the judge will read you the charges, and you'll enter a plea, guilty or not guilty. Lori Vallow is right there at that point right now. Her bail was then set as if you for your vehicular assault would be set. They would say, okay, bail is $10,000 for you for running into your ex-husband with your car. But the stipulations on top of that are you will not drive a car, you will not harass him, you will not speak to anyone that he may call as a witness, and you may not speak with anyone who is a witness to this actual crime. Even if you were cheered on by 300,000 other people, you can't speak to those people because if they witnessed it, they could be called as a witness for either the defense or prosecution, but you can't talk to them. They will make stipulations. It could be as simple as you'll wear an ankle bracelet while you're out. You can only stay within a couple of counties, and abstain from a bottle of wine each night while you listen to your favorite true crime YouTube creator 411 Now. That could be the stipulations of your actual release on top of the bail. For that $10,000 bail, you will have to put up 10% of it normally in cash. Now, that could be by a bank check. It could be by giving your debit card to somebody on the outside and they go take it out. But a lot of jails have ATMs machines within them themselves, so people can post their own bond. Not all, but a lot of them do. Or they have to have a family member come up with the cash and bring it to them, and then you go give them the cash if you have it. Otherwise, the person's going to have to come up with collateral, and they're going to have to come up with the family of yours on the outside. They will have to come up with the cash, and they will have to come up with the security, with $10,000 worth of equity into it. It could be a $50,000 car that they're, a third of the way of paying off. Whatever, but it's got to have equity in it, a value to the actual bond itself. That's how the cash bail system works. You pay 10% plus the fees, and you are required to show back up for all your court dates and everything else. If you don't, the bond company has the right to sell that property in lieu of getting back their money. Because when they write the bond and they take the collateral, either the title for the home or the title for the car, what they do is they hold that aside, and then the bond company, have to write a check to the court immediately that says, here's the 100% of the bond that has been set for this individual. You used collateral, or your family used collateral to get your butt out, but the court has been made whole already. They've got that 100% bond, and they're going to take their cut off of that before they give that back to the bail bondsman. The bail bondsman company is going to take their cut off it before they give it back to somebody else. And that usually comes out of either the 10% or it comes out of the total amount if you gave a whole security, cash security for the entire thing. That's how bail works. All right, now for the clarifications on Lori Vallow. Her and Chad, according to the bail bond agent that I have been speaking with, and I actually went to Rexburg, Idaho, as a lot of you know, and while they're on that trip, I actually sat down and spoke with this bail bondsman and another one, because I was kind of curious of how it is that a small town, Rexburg is, in Salem is even smaller. How is it that they would write a security note, of $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, or whatever the case may be? And it turns out that what the answer to that is, they go on what's called a bail bonds network, and they look for other companies to underwrite their actual bond. So it's A plus, and it might be Goliath bail bonds, who are the actual bail bondsmen for Lori Vallow. In this case, Lori and her attorney, Mr. Means, have completed 100% of the paperwork to get Lori out. They've filled out the paperwork for the bond. They've shown that they have access to the actual funds, and they have the funds. They have lined up the county with the sheriff's department to have the ankle monitoring bracelet put on it, because that's one of the stipulations of her release. They've got that signed up, and they have a letter. The bail bonds company has that as well. It's all in a file waiting for one thing: to just get the security in order for her to be released. Same thing with Chad. Chad only needs, security of $1 million. Lori needs $1,150,000. She would have to pay 10% of $1,150,000. Chad would have to pay $100,000, 10% of the million in cash. Well, they don't just bring in cash. They bring in a bank check, certified bank check for it, or somebody else would bring in that certified bank check for the funds. Neither one of them have shown up with security with enough equity that the bail bonds company is okay with, that they're willing to take as collateral. Now, A plus, when I went there to talk with them and the other bail bonds company, because of privacy agreements with bail bonds companies, and this is pretty much with every bail bonds company, they will not tell you any exact parts of the actual, we have 10 pieces of collateral, but we're just not there yet. They won't tell you that part. They won't tell you the part about, we have 2 pieces of collateral, but it's not enough equity in it. We need one more piece. They won't tell you the specifics of an actual case, because it would violate their agreement between client and their actual attorney, and the agreement between the bail bonds company and the attorney. It would violate that. And they would be held liable for any information that they release. So when I spoke with them, they spoke in just generalities, but they were able to tell me that all the paperwork on their end from Mr. Means has been completed, and they are just awaiting security. And that's it. Anything more than that, they would be violating the actual agreement. But they did tell me that this, as of July 10th, that the agreement, because I've went there in person, but I've also been keeping contact with these individuals online, and a lot of them are out there on social media where you can ask them on either their Facebook group or maybe they're on Instagram, and they're posting pictures of bonds and successful cases. You know, these people are out there just like me and you. They're out there networking and trying to get customers, and they want you to remember, in case you ever need a bail bond, A plus is there for you. So, but they're out there, and you can ask them questions like that, or like the dozen people who have, since I mentioned it, who called and they did answer the questions for them. None of them have come back to the streams, the comments, the community section, nowhere else to say, you know what, I called and I verified, yes, he's 100% right. All this information he told me is, here in the stream is actually correct. But with that said, I didn't expect anybody to actually call them and check on it and then come back and report that I was correct. A lot of people hate me and they don't want to believe that I actually am reporting the facts. So they doubt me, and they think that I make this stuff up, as I'm going along. You can't please everybody, and you're never going to be able to please the people who dislike you just because you give them the factual information instead of giving them all the speculation that they really desire. They want that nugget, something that they can use against you, or say that is the person for me. So, will anybody do it here in the next 24 hours, 48 hours? When does the world end exactly? It all depends again on what information you listen to. Lori Vallow said the 20th twice on two different separate podcasts from information that she learned that the world was ending, July 20th of 2020. Chad Daybell told Melanie Gibbs and Melania Pulowski, now I think is how you pronounce her new last name, that the world ended the 23rd or 24th. Neither one of them was 100% sure on that, but other people who have spoken, who knew Chad and have read some of his online postings of his visions of the end of the world, if you call it that, or his stories of it, said that it's either the 23rd or it's the 25th. It's right in there. So either way, the world is going to end. If they can't come up with security, they're going to stay right there in jail. Now, for those out there who have asked the legal question, why is it that they are afforded the ability to bond out? I have to tell you, it is very extremely disheartening that more people who live here in America, and I asked quite a few of those who posted alike comments, are they American citizens? And overwhelmingly everyone said yes, they live in this state or that state, or somewhere in the United States. It's very disheartening that that so many Americans don't know the actual Constitution of the United States. The public school system has greatly failed so many people out there, and I understand not knowing that bail is afforded to everyone and everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Even though what we know is, the children are dead. We know that they were involved. We know they're responsible. They still get their day in court just like everyone else. And they are afforded the ability to have reasonable bail in their case just like everyone else. It doesn't matter who you are. As long as you are not mentally ill and been found mentally ill before the actual pre-trial of entering of sentence, that if you have the option under the Constitution to have fair and reasonable bail based on the charges that you are facing and the length of time that you are facing in jail. Everyone in America is afforded that same right. So that is why they have both been awarded bail on these charges. If they get out, can they be in the same location? Of course not. But then again, do they need to? Chad has the ability, and Lori has spoken about this, Melanie Gibbs has spoken about this, that Chad has the ability to put a porthole in a closet or in a room or something so he can communicate directly with Lori. He can offer himself over here, she can offer herself over here. They don't even have to be in the same state. They can communicate through these portholes, and they're probably communicating through these portholes right now from one jail to the other. So no, they can't be together at the same location, same place, and if they do get out, that's a fact. Maybe it'd be a violation of their, it would be a violation of their release and the actual rules that have been set forth for bail for them, that they are not to have any contact with co-conspirators or co-defendants in this case. So, but again, through their magical portals, they can do whatever. So, I'm going to end it there. I just wanted to add that clarification for everybody. Thank you again for for the comments and for everybody taking part in the community and the other questions that I posted on social media. Stay safe out there, and I will see you on the other side of the veil, just in case the world ends tomorrow.